What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Death Battle Cast. We do the show live every Tuesday, and you guys get to participate in who should win in a death battle argument, debate thing. And today we have Chad here representing one of our two characters going up against Aaron. Welcome, guys. Liam's here too. And
I was trying to see if it looked like I was frozen, but no one went for it. I don't think I did it.
You
I
pulled
was
too
about to say he's
many. You
being-
pulled too many
Yeah.
bits. We were just like same
Yeah.
shit as always.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of these days you will be frozen and we're just not going to believe you at all.
We're just gonna keep trucking along, and we'll get 15 minutes in. And we'll be like, "You're taking this bit for a while," and then you won't respond, and then
That's
we'll be like, "Oh
something that
shit,
I kind of
he died."
want to do that at some point. You know, like it's my goal.
Mm.
Like for the entire time, I'm not going to say anything.
Your goal is to convince us that you've been a
Yeah.
liar this whole time.
Or that I died. Like I'll just be like,
Oh,
and
man.
just like flop
Oh,
over for an hour.
Sad day. That would be such a sad day.
Well, what's the not sad?
Sounds like
Tails kicking us off with the super chat saying, "Gotta say, this is an interesting matchup." Thank you.
Yeah, so this was a pitch, I believe.
Yep.
I think pretty early on. And one of the pitches that got the reward of being on Death Battle Cast as well. And we are very interested in talking about it because a few of us have been reading these two series for a while and watching the shows. And I'm very interested to see how this goes because I'm not super familiar with them. So we have Chad arguing for the Goblin Slayer, whose just name is Goblin Slayer, I guess.
He's known by other names across the land, but it all means the same thing, basically.
And then Aaron will be arguing for Laios. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Laios, yes.
Laios from Dungeon Meshi or Delicious in Dungeon, which the manga is apparently over. Like it ended like 2 years ago. I did not realize this.
Neither did I.
The manga just ended 2 years ago. I guess it's not that long of a series, right? But the anime just started up.
Yeah, no, it's yeah, it's not terribly many chapters. It's 14 volumes and 90 something chapters. I literally just reread it all like yesterday and this morning to be fresh. I also want to say, someone in chat said, taking a guess, Aaron is repping Laios. Am I getting like typecast at this point?
Wow,
like you're
whoever said
correct,
that,
but
nice job.
Well, Crossover says, "Aaron, I missed you," and then Night Ghost gifted out a membership. Thank you.
all right, well,
Thank you.
thank you.
And Bread God, of course, being here, says Laios has my vote because he makes bread. That's true.
Yeah, of course.
They do.
Delicious bread.
That's true. Wow. Okay, to be fair, we have to get into the argument, so don't cast we're not casting votes until the end of the show. If you're new to Death Battle Cast, we're going to do this whole argument back and forth, and then at the end of the show, we will have a live poll where you all watching this live can vote on who should win on a death battle. All right. So, and it'll be up to these guys over here to convince you that their character should win. And we'll see how they choose to do that.
Yeah.
All
Also,
right.
They're all wilding out with the super chats again. Ghost Steven says, "You guys use
Chad
Goblin Slayer,
hates
One
super
Piece?"
chats, guys.
Well, I'm not. All right, I'm gonna need someone else to keep
Yeah,
track
don't
of this,
send in a
'cause
whole
I gotta argue.
lot because it
Chad,
won't
yeah, don't
annoy
do
Chad.
super chats. That annoys Chad, clearly. Look at how he's
Yeah.
money
Tintel
on
says,
screen? What is this?
yeah, Tintel says these two worlds should not be intertwined. One is wholesome, the other is very dark. Yeah, we'll talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be, I think, a major difference in the discussion. I mean, okay, I know Goblin Slayer gets into some like messed up shit, but it's like
Sure does.
at the end of the day, just a man runs around killing monsters, right?
Oh, Goblin
Like it doesn't
Slayer?
get into berserk levels of like on a consistent layer. I mean,
yeah, no. Well, I mean,
like Berserk, for example, every other chapter has some horrible thing happening. It's not quite the same for Goblin Slayer, right?
yeah, it's not quite that bad, but a recurring theme of like is Goblin Slayer checks in on the guild hall. Do you have any quests to kill goblins? Or have any adventurers that were new just taken a quest to kill goblins? And they're like, yeah, those people just left. And he's like, oh, great. So then he goes, finds them. Usually one gets a little. The way they put it in the show is the goblins make them a plaything. It.
Okay.
Then he saves some of them. Usually at least one person dies. Then he kills all of said goblins and sometimes gets to the women in time and other times they're
Are
starved
goblins
forever.
like just
It's-
like ontologically evil in Goblin Slayer? Like they are like their existence is evil, or are there like good goblins? Or is it just like no, all goblins are DNA evil?
It depends. So let's just say that the baby goblins look pretty innocent.
Yeah, I
then-
remember what scene that is. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they're also murdered because they will quote grow up into be goblins that will commit atrocities or whatever. But it seems like maybe if you took like a baby goblin out of said scenario and raised it in like a loving family and to not like, do terrible things, maybe it could be good, but not according to Goblin Slayer. He would never allow that. He would track that person down.
So
and
Goblin
he would
Slayer is
murder the
just
goblin in front of them.
horrifically racist.
I was gonna say this is sounding like a lot of things.
Oh yeah, no, like he is very much the only good goblin is a dead goblin. Like that is
Yeah,
that is
right.
100%.
Okay.
But
Uh,
you want me to just get
okay.
into it then? Like,
yeah,
who he
let's
is?
get
Okay.
it. Let's get into this. We'll talk about we'll go over Goblin Slayer. We'll go over Dungeon Meshi. There may be some spoilers for them because I know like these are obviously series that like closer to end game they probably get much stronger powers and things like that. So some of that might come up. I will say as much as we can avoid story spoilers. Let's try to avoid that. But if Laios, for example, gets like some magic sword at the end of the series that specifically is able to cut through Goblin Slayer's armor or whatever, it's obviously important to bring up. I have no idea. Maybe that exists, maybe it doesn't. But either way, we're going to try to avoid story spoilers that aren't necessary to cover. Okay,
You're giving me an interesting challenge then.
yeah. Well, I hope you're up to the task.
Okay,
Chad,
let's
let's
do it.
start. Well, since we already kind of dived into Goblin Slayer a little bit and the world that he's in, give us the overall pitch. Who is Goblin
Yeah.
Slayer? Why is he going to win this?
So known
does
as
he do?
Orc Bulg to the elves and Beard Cutter to the dwarves, the Goblin Slayer is known throughout the land for one specific reason. So as a child,
Did you say Orc
Gob-
Bald? His
Orc
name is Orc
Bulg.
Bald?
Orc Bulg.
Orc Bulg. Okay.
Yeah.
Orc Bulg?
His name is Bald
Bulg.
Orc.
Yes, and they will really. That's like he parties up with people, and the elf girl always calls him Orc Bulg, and the dwarf always calls him Beard Cutter. Anyway,
Okay.
then everyone else calls him Godslayer. But anyway, so as a child, goblins attacked his village, and they killed and tortured his friends and family, and pretty much destroyed the entire village, and then captured him. He was saved by Araya, which is like a race of like halfling people known for like stealth and all that stuff. And so he ended up training with them and then vowed to go out on his quest and kill all goblins. And you know what? He's been doing a damn good job of it. Because I found a thread where someone was trying to estimate the number of goblins that he's killed, and this person was like, I think it's got to be like at least 4,000, and then other people are like way more, like because of like other feats. So like over
Okay.
4,000 goblin kills to his name. He's got a multitude of weapons and equipment at his disposal. He's a master tactician, is incredibly fast, strong, and is able to shrug off ludicrous blows. I don't know what that armor is made of or what it's got to have like shock absorption because this man gets slammed through fucking everything. So anyway, well, that's like the little intro there for goblins.
Okay. Okay. What is his primary weapon? Let's at least get that out of the way.
Like knives and swords usually.
He doesn't have like one like the Mega Sword or the Anti-Goblin Slayer or whatever.
No, he's like he'll kill him with damn near anything. I mean, like
Okay.
a rock, like he's got a slingshot,
stapler?
he's got a warhammer. He uses a shield and sword a lot. And
A stapler? as
God,
well?
does he? No stapler, sorry, but
Damn
if
it.
stapler exists in that world, I would imagine he could find a way to kill God. He's like the MacGyver of killing goblins. Like he'll figure it
So
out.
what I'm gathering is he's like, and I saw somebody in chat mention that he's kind of like if Darth Vader was set loose on Fantasy World. I'm getting the sense that he's like kind of Darth Vader-esque with John Wick. like elements.
Mhm.
Darth
Kind of.
Vader and
The
John Wick
pencil monologue.
combined,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
put them in a fantasy world with like knight armor and things like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. And it's like he will like on the fly figure something out. Like it's like, oh, this situation's happening now. And then he's like, okay, I'll grab that string that I put here and hook this to here. And quick, you yell at the goblin and run that way. And then like suddenly all the goblins are on fire and shit. And he's like, I set a trap. And we're like, what the fuck? He's like, 7 weeks ago, I thought goblins might walk into this cavern, and so there was an explosive there. Like,
Sounding more like a Batman.
it's
Be more Batman than anything else.
Yeah.
Wait, what if just some random human like walked into the cave? Would he feel bad?
I
Care?
I mean, if goblins, if it got taken out in the process, he'd probably be okay with it.
Wow. Okay.
All
All right.
goblins must die, Ben. Like that's that's the only
All
thing
right,
this
well,
man lives for. Like,
Let's go.
Kind of sounds like an
from-
asshole.
Yeah, psychotically murdering goblins to maybe eating goblins. I don't know. How about
mean,
let's talk
yeah.
about Laios.
he does try and help.
Yeah. Yeah, Laios is the leader of a adventuring party going down into the dungeon. There's the entire context of the world is that adventuring parties will go down into this dungeon to try to find, fame, fortune. If you get to the bottom of the dungeon and you defeat the mad magician, the idea is that you then become the king of the dungeon. You get to rule over the kingdom contained within. Laios's goal, however, is to learn as much as he can about every single monster in the dungeon, kill them, and eat them. And then on the way, if he can find and resurrect his dead sister, that's a bonus. And then plot happens to him. He gets involved in the prophecy. But yeah, he's very clever, highly analytical. Because of his knowledge and study of monsters, he's able to defeat pretty much anyone that the party comes across pretty easily, including with more creative solutions. He has a living sword named Kensuke. And he also is fairly durable. He gets bashed around by the red dragon, which they defeat at the end of season 1 of the show. So I consider that mild spoilers. But yes, they're able to defeat the red dragon. He gets bashed around by it a whole lot. Actually has his leg bitten off, but it's able to get popped back on just fine. Thanks to
What?
magic that is involved in
Okay.
the series' world. So yeah.
So I saw some
He
people
has
in
a lot
chat
of
asking-
resources to pull on and a lot of magic to pull on, and he has a sword that's alive. And that's
Gotcha,
base
okay.
level.
I saw some people in chat asking like, just one dungeon? Isn't that the kind of small? It's like a mega dungeon, right? With multiple
It's a mega
Yeah.
dungeon.
levels and stuff.
It is an entire kingdom sunk into the earth.
Mhm.
So the dungeon has multiple layers, and each layer is large enough to maintain its own ecosystems. Entire villages of orcs, for example, live in the dungeon. All of that good stuff. So yes, it is a dungeon because it is the dungeon, I think is how I would put that.
Yeah.
In what way is Kensuke alive? Like, does he have like a mouth that he talks?
But his
Eat
sword,
goblins there?
which he names Kensuke, comes from the level where they run into living armor. So monsters that
right.
are hollow, or so they think hollow.
They have like things
Suits
inside, they
of
have
armor
parasites
with
inside of them.
swords. Yes, they are actually a species of mollusk that lives between the layers of the metal of the armor. They
Oh,
actually the armor is actually their shells that they grow and then they
Mhm.
assemble into
They're
living
like hermit
armor.
crabs.
Yeah. Very much mollusk-like, which is also how they end up cooking it. They basically steam the helmet, and it just cooks all the mollusks inside of it.
Oh
But
my
yeah,
God.
he doesn't kill all the living armor on that level. He holds on to the sword from the living armor set, so it has this little mollusk living inside of it. It'll pop out its eyes from the hilt of the sword, and it is able to sense danger from other monsters. So it is able to alert him, like when a trap is about to be sprung. It'll like vibrate in his hand and things
Oh,
like
I
that.
see it. Yeah, it's like
That-
little snail eyes coming out.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
that actually that is a perfect transition for a similar thing that Goblin Slayer has. Not nearly as adorable. So when he was training with the Rhea, the Rhea's like basically he was like, he's just, the typical like training master thing that's like, you're not smart enough, your luck's not good enough, but you have guts, so I will train you to think with your guts. Direct quote. And it's kind of like, so it's like a hyper awareness. So like it's like because he's been trained to think with his guts, it's like a mini, not like as not to the level of like a spider sense, but like the Goblin sneaking up on him and has like a knife back, and then he just like fucking knows and grabs it, and then kills the goblin or whatever, right?
So it's like the idea of gut intuition, but like as
Yes.
a actual trainable power.
Yes, exactly.
That's interesting.
Okay. So yes.
Okay.
I feel like fun context for this cast episode as a whole. I have not seen or consumed any Goblin Slayer, and Chad has not seen or consumed any Delicious in Dungeon. So we are arguing with characters that we are actively learning about
Why?
Yeah,
as we talk about it. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Okay. Well, ultimately, it sounds like both of these really play into classic sort of dungeon delving and fantasy tropes in a lot of ways, specifically like RPG tropes of that nature. Chaotic evil goblins, the mega dungeon, etc. But what are their weapons? Aside from Laios' weapon being able to sense danger, do any of them have any like magic weapons or anything like that? Or is this just ultimately going to be like swinging a sword, whoever's got the best armor is going to win?
Well, so there is some magic, but like not like an enchanted weapon or anything like that. And I kind of want to save that for a little bit later.
Okay.
But there's
Piccolo
definitely
style
magic.
clothes beam.
Yeah, there's definitely magic in Goblin Slayer's world. And so like some users can cast magical spells and things like that or perform miracles. But for Goblin Slayer to do that, he needs scrolls. It's implied that he has like other scrolls, and so like some are for like teleportation or like to shoot like a fireball or something like that. He has one specifically that I'll get into later, which is your standard what's it called? It's not portal scroll. I always want to call it that. It's a gate scroll. And it's standard, like most adventurers should carry a gate scroll because it's like, oh, shit's got bad in the dungeon. Like I've used the gate scroll and it's linked to where I linked it, and I get out there and go home, right? So it's your standard gate scroll, but he got real creative with it, and it's pretty ridiculous. But we'll save that for a little bit. But yeah, generally no, he's using. I mean, he's shooting an arrow into a goblin, stabbing a goblin with a knife, cutting a goblin in half, which he could do like just one sword swing. Boom, goblin in half, goblin decapitated, bash a head in with a rock, choke a goblin out with some string he found. It doesn't like, I mean, anything is a weapon to kill goblins in this man's hand. He's very, very good. He does have like a poisonous smoke grenade. He has a bag where he's quoted to say he only brings the essentials, but even the dwarf's like, what do you not have in there? Like, he's like, quick, use this. And like, I've got charcoal, wet this rag. Now you can breathe through the poison, and you take this, mix it with this, and that'll seal up the crack of the door so no more poison gets in. And then the dwarf's like, my God, it's making concrete. And it's just like,
I have a hypothetical
Only
for
the
you.
essentials, but everything is essential, is what I'm hearing.
I have a hypothetical to determine Goblin Slayer's like level of devotion to murdering goblins. What if there was a goblin that was like way too strong for him to actually kill? Like a sword would like just crack against him. Like there's no way to kill him. Would Goblin Slayer like then like pursue? Follow me here. A romantic relationship with this goblin, like take the goblin out to dinner, develop common interests. They fall in love, they get married, they maybe have children together. They get an apartment. It's wonderful, and then Goblin Slayer leaves the goblin, cheats on the goblin, does something just absolutely heartbreaking, so much so that the big goblin dies of a broken heart. Would Goblin Slayer, because he can't kill him with a sword, he kills him emotionally. Would Goblin Slayer do that, or is that beyond Goblin Slayer's like level of devotion?
I think we need to wrap that up into a pitch deck.
what scenario? So
yes or no?
Let's put it this way: if that was the only way to
Yeah.
destroy the goblin, then potentially, but I don't think he could ever sleep with a goblin. He'd kill it. Like, so the thing is, if in that scenario,
Can't
which
kill
is
it.
ridiculous, you make me have to debate this, and is that if he couldn't kill it at that moment, he would get out, find a way, and
Yeah.
then come back and kill that
That's
goblin with whatever.
that's the way. That's
If
the
that's
way
the
he's
o- I
determined.
I guess
yeah.
the real question here is if that was legitimately the only way.
The only way. Yeah.
Is he willing to go as far as possible to kill each goblin, or
He's
is there
willing
a
to do anything
scenario
to
where he
kill-
will give up?
He's willing to do anything to kill goblins. So
Okay,
I guess,
okay.
but also I couldn't see him sleeping with a goblin. You know what I mean? It's like
Sure. Yeah. Don't get me wrong.
Roll with my
Liam's
my
got a very
jokes,
fucked
Chad.
up brain,
yeah.
but I get.
Play
I
along.
see what you're going for.
I
here.
am. I'm trying to.
It's
I'm pitching his
putting
softballs
his
here.
two
Yeah.
like kind of not actual desires, but his desires around goblins against each other. Because
Yes.
if that's the
It would
only
be-
way to
it
kill
would be
it,
a
would he be
horrific-
willing?
Yeah.
Horrific internal conflict for him.
Yeah.
Some people can
I-
have sex with no desire, no feeling of romance whatsoever.
Okay,
I'm-
Liam.
Goblin
Yes,
Slayer
yes,
might
he'd
be.
sleep
He
with the
might be.
goblin.
He
Is that
might
what you
sleep
want?
around. Okay. Yes.
I'm sure that's what
Thank you.
everyone tuning in wanted to hear from this cast episode.
All right, let's move away from Goblin Slayer.
Yeah, I do want to say
Hopefully
as
get-
well.
Whatever
I-
conversation this is, out the trash. Aaron.
Yeah,
what
talking more about weapons. So I do also see a super chat from Mystic Master saying that Goblin Slayer never has special weapons on him because they're expensive to maintain, and that goblins can't steal it from him to use against him. So it does sound very much like he's more the MacGyver type, kind of on purpose. Yeah, as far as Laios goes, his primary weapon is his sword Kensuke, which is able to very easily behead various creatures, including like basilisks and things of that nature. Specifically to kill the red dragon, he borrows a knife from Senshi, the dwarf in the party, who's the primary cook. Because his beloved kitchen knife is actually made out of mithril, so it is actually able to pierce dragon scales, and he is able to use it to kill the red dragon. So, if Senshi's letting him kind of begrudgingly borrow his kitchen knife, then he has something that's shorter than his sword, but is sharper, can cut through more things.
Dude, man, what I would give for an actual mithril like chef's knife for the kitchen. You like never have to sharpen it. It would just cut through. Oh, it'd be so great.
Yeah. Senshi, he also has a cooking pot that's like one of those kind of giant round woks that he also uses as his shield. And that is also made of a very strong metal to the point where they are able to guard themselves from the dragon's fire using that
in the
cooking
pot.
pot. Yes.
Actually, one of the things that came up during the pitch was whether or not their whole parties should be involved. Although my understanding is the Goblin Slayer doesn't have like a set party. There's just these side characters that follow him around essentially sometimes.
Well, he does. He gets. It starts off like kind of like reluctant, like because he saves this priestess because her party was in trouble, and then she kind of like tags along, and then it's a thing of like him reluctantly accepting her help. But then other people show up, and we've heard of your greatness of killing goblins, and we'd
Wait,
like to tag along.
Do all of them? Is this just a party of people who just fucking hate goblins? Is that the whole idea?
They just
It's like,
kind
you
of
hate
show
goblins?
up.
Go join this guy.
Yeah, I mean, they just kind of show up because they've like heard of his renown and they want to see what's going on. And I think they need his various help with like different things in their different lands. So there's like a lizard wizard. There's an elven archer. There's a dwarven, I think shaman. Is he a shaman? Anyway, and so them and the priestess and them, they kind of have formed this party. So they go around. So they've done a good handful of adventures together.
So yeah, chat, if you guys are interested in making this a party matchup, I think that would be a much larger conversation than we could fit into this cast, but we'll see. But if that would be a more interesting death battle, like full episode, let us know. I do want to get through a couple super chats here before we move on, because we have a lot of people who have some interesting things to say about this matchup, including from Bread God saying Laios has my vote because he makes bread, which I think we did mention earlier. Michael says the reason for this fight will be because Laios tries to eat goblins while Slayer disapproves because he wants the goblins to die. My question, Michael, Doesn't that mean the goblin is dead?
Yeah. So I'm torn here because I'm like, that would mean killing a goblin, so Goblin Slayer would approve. But I think he would
Right.
be disgusted that someone would ingest goblin flesh.
I think the real issue as well is that like Laios, like basically his like obsessive like special interests are monsters. He is obsessed with them. He loves them so much that he goes in and studies them and wants to know what they taste like. For him, it is like a passion project. So I think where it wouldn't even the conflict would even come from Laios wanting to eat the goblin after cooking it. It would be the enthusiasm. It would be the love for goblin as a type of monster. Because goblins don't actually exist in Dungeon Meshi. Like I just reread it for the cast, and I was specifically looking for like, were there goblins? And I just forgot they were in there. No, we've got orcs and we've got kobolds, but that's the closest we ever get. So if he runs into like Goblin Slayer's world or like a dungeon from Goblin Slayer that has actual goblins, he would immediately nerd out and go, "Oh my god, it's a kind of monster I've never seen before." And then immediately want to know what they taste like after you kill and cook them.
And orcs in Meshi are not goblinoid. Like
they're kind of like humanoid boar people. Like they have kind of pig features, and they are like intelligent race. They are an intelligent humanoid race. They are in these little migratory village groups.
Does he eat them too?
No.
Okay. He does have a limit. All right.
They end up allying with Laios and his party because Senshi, their cook, gives them vegetables, and they're basically just like, "It's our vegetable guy. We can't kill him and his friends. We're cool." Yeah, they are allied with the orcs.
Okay. The Stories of Satyr says, "Is it a win con to remind Goblin Slayer that Laios isn't a goblin, and then he just leaves, so Laios wins by default?" Maybe, I don't know. If that's your decision on your vote at the end of this, like that counts in my book.
He's also killed ogres. Because basically, if there are things that are hanging around with goblins, right? Because sometimes, like, it'll be like, a bunch of little goblins, and they're like, the hobgoblin up, which is like much bigger, right? And like like a big dude. And then there's like a king goblin or whatever, and there's a paladin goblin. So, but then you get to like, there's like this ogre that's just like hanging around, and all these goblins are like there. And so then he's like, I gotta fight this ogre now, which is like titanically huge, which I could show you some stuff from that. Let's see. Okay, so first we're gonna do like this is into the like just the him getting smashed into stuff, a montage. So Sam, we bring up durability 1. So hobgoblins are pretty huge, right? They're bigger than like not just goblins, but also they're bigger than like the average man. So this guy, as you can see, swings real hard. And that's him blasting Goblin Slayer, but you see all the pieces of the other goblins that were in the way exploding. And then Goblin Slayer slides across the whole room and slams into a wall. And I'm like, damn, that's really impressive because that swing was powerful enough to explode other goblins. And then we could go, it's like, well, now he fights the ogre later. And Sam, can you pull up durability too? So see this ogre's humongous. And this ogre just baseball bats him across the entire arena, and then he smashes into the top of that pillar, which cracks the pillar, and then he falls down. And I believe the quote is, "Somehow I'm alive."
That's what I would say.
And then
actually, I would say,
and speaking of getting slammed into walls, can you pull up durability 3? So this is where he's taking on a goblin champion, and you can see how humongous that thing is. And so he's once again trying to MacGyver his situation. So he's using the goblin's hair to make a garrote to choke it to death. And so it's like, well, what do I do? Fucking slam him into a wall. And so he gets like absolutely just blasted into this wall and survives. Again, I don't know what type of armor this is. It's supposed to all be standard gear. But I don't know.
Does he successfully choke the goblin with his own hair?
No, I think they have to kill it a different way, if I remember right. But
okay.
yeah. And then just
Yeah,
while we're
no
on
creative kills
durability,
is a recurring thing. Gogashi in chat says Goblin Slayer and his friends killed an immortal wizard by throwing him off a wizard tower. He used the logic of I can't be killed by mortal means, so he went gravity isn't man-made, and the party just nodded. So that's how they killed
Nice.
a wizard who can't be killed by man.
Clever.
I love a good logic puzzle. That's great.
yeah. And then also I didn't grab a screen grab for this because I haven't watched the movie and I was trying to see what happened in the movie, and like he fights the Goblin Paladin that's like really powerful and like had like a connection to like the God of Wisdom or something, but I guess he did that pretty easily, honestly. Um but he like had to take out like the whole like army of goblins that were like following him or whatever, and so he had like engineered an entire fucking massive avalanche, like the whole goddamn like mountain comes up, and he's not making it back to the rest of his party in time, and so like the priest is like puts a huge bubble around everyone, and you watch him just get got by this massive avalanche, right? And she's like, no, because he wasn't in the protection, like he's clearly dead. And they just go, they're like walking through, and he just like kind of just gets up out of the snow, and it's like, oh. Anyway, at least just like fine. Like all the other goblins are dead, and he just like walks off an avalanche like nothing.
What is this armor? This is insane. Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh, and then also, apparently he had planned this like way ahead of time that this might be a scenario and they might be in this option. And he had given the whole party these rings of underwater breathing just in case they got trapped in the avalanche, because I guess that'll let them breathe snow.
Oh, because it's underwater and snow is water.
Well,
Fucking-
interesting.
Okay.
fucking-
I guess.
that's so
Sure.
dumb.
Why
That's
not?
so stupid. It's a solid.
Yeah. But also, the other thing too is like it's partly the armor, but partly him, because a lot of times when he gets slammed into shit, he does the like, bleh, and the blood flies out of the like the mouth guard or whatever, but he's just still okay and fighting. He does have healing potions, so like that could help. But I'm trying to think. Normally, you see him give them to other people's, like, "Oh, you're hurt. I'm saving you."
Right, because he's the Goblin Slayer.
Well, it sounds like he
gets
gets bonked around as much as physically possible and is just okay. So,
as Michael says in Super Chat, Goblin Slayer is literally too angry to die.
yeah,
Sounds right.
stubborn.
Okay, let's
Yep.
get some info on Laios.
Yeah.
Your response to this, and we'll jump into some other stuff.
I do also want to shout out Bread God Super Chat. I would eat a goblin. So that's you and Laios both. Thank you for that. But yeah, for Laios, he does prove to be pretty durable. He has a full suit of plate armor. He gets bashed around by the red dragon and manages to survive. He, in that fight, deliberately allows the dragon to bite off his leg so that he can get the killing blow. So if it gets him the win, he is willing to put himself in dangerous and painful situations. The thing that he definitely has on his side within Dunmeshi is the way that their healing magic system works. Because after that fight is over, their mage, Marcel, she is just able to stick his leg back on, and he just complains about it being itchy afterwards, but isn't bothered about it otherwise. The other kind of big thing... Sorry, my cat's doing something back there. The other big thing within the dungeon is that there is certain magics over the entirety of the dungeon, and one of those is that no souls are able to properly leave the dungeon overall, and so long as they have something of a physical form left over, their soul, even after they die, is still kind of stuck in the body. So you are able to, if you have magical acuity, just resurrect someone by undoing that harm done to the physical form. Essentially, it's literally a sub economy in Delicious in Dungeon that people go around and will resurrect dead adventurers and then ask for like their finder's fee, essentially.
Okay.
So even if Laios does get grievously injured, if Marcel's around to heal him or another mage is around to heal him, they can heal him. He also, throughout the series, learns how to wield magic himself, and the only real limit to the amount of magic you can use are your own like mana storage. If you end up running through all of your mana, you end up getting weak classically. But as you perform more and more magic, that ability grows stronger, kind of like a muscle. So it is while he doesn't do it in the text, it is possible that he could heal himself if need be.
That's what I'm saying. How good is he with magical stuff? Because it sounds like the party members are the ones like doing the leg healing spell and that stuff, right?
Yeah, it would
Yeah.
that would be something that would be more involved if we were to make this like a party matchup
Okay.
because
Okay.
Marcel is very powerful at being a mage.
So
Gotcha.
the soul thing is inherent to the dungeon though itself,
I had to
right?
get. I'm sorry.
Okay. He's messing with the fish.
Yeah, he recently
Um,
discovered fish tanks, so it's been a constant battle.
Guy.
He's discovered that he can climb on top of the fish tank and drink the filter water. Now, you think he would have stopped after he did that to our larger 20-gallon tank and he made the lid slide off so both him and the
Absolutely
lid
not.
fell into the fish tank? But that would involve him to think about consequences, and I don't think that part of his brain exists.
Hell no.
oh no.
But yes,
Okay,
so
well,
healing
dungeon.
magic would be more involved if it was a party fight. But he is capable of performing his own magic. He is able to cast like light spells and like kind of basic shielding. He's also able to use water walk, which sounds like a basic spell, but they're able to use it in ways that are kind of like use physics in ways that are a little bit silly, but are
Like run
technically
on
correct
rain or
under the
something?
bounds.
Okay, hang
Um,
on. I'm curious. Yeah, what does he do?
They cast water walk on a kraken so that they essentially beach it because they cast it and the water walk spell makes the entire huge kraken come out of the water and just sit on top of the lake.
Yep.
They also later on he casts water walk on himself whilst 3 of the party members are grabbing onto him because the other 3 can't swim, so they're panicking and grabbing onto him. He casts water walk just on himself, and the force of it shooting him and the people holding onto him out of the water then makes him bounce like a skipping stone across like an ocean, basically.
I just this is a perfect time to talk about this. As a child, when Goblin Slayer is in training, one of the things that one of the Rhea did was they tied his hands behind his back and like I think threw him in the lake or had him jump into a lake. So his hands are tied, and he's a moment he's like, "What am I?" Like he starts to panic, and then he's like, "Wait!" And his plan, which works, is to stay calm, and sink to the bottom of the lake so that he can bend his knees and fucking jump out of the lake. And he does. As a kid. I don't even know what the calc would be on that.
Of
It
course.
sounds absolutely absurd.
So, are these just based on people's Dungeons and Dragons campaign? Like, is that what these are? Because that is how the water walk spell works in 5.0 edition of D&D, right? Like, you cast it on something and it starts rising up. So, is that what this is? Like,
Yeah, kinda.
just like
I do
this
think
happened to
the
them.
from what it sounds like with Goblin Slayer and from how Delicious in Dungeon is, I do think like tabletop RPG Dungeons and Dragons is a big
Dungeon Meshy sounds like somebody
inspiration
played
for them
Dungeon of the
both.
Mad Mage and went, you know what? What if I just ate everything here? Like that's what it sounds
Yeah.
like to me.
Yeah.
I saw
Okay.
somebody earlier with the super chat calced. It was like if Goblin Slayer's killed over 4,000 goblins, they calculate what his experience would be. I think it's going to be like level 19 in D&D 5e after killing that many goblins.
Oh, if you apply the EXP. Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
good.
That's fun. Okay.
Very funny.
Okay. That's
I'm
really
curious.
funny. Yeah.
I'm curious
Hmm.
about speed. Like how fast.
Yeah. Well,
it
okay.
is.
Let's
Okay.
get to speed in just a little bit. I do want to take a brief moment to talk a little bit about something else. I saw Joe, good old Joe in chat, reminding us that we've got a fireside chat coming up, and that is actually coming up this week. Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Surprise. We have
Here's
a
your
fireside
warning.
chat. Yes. We have a fireside chat Wednesday evening. That will be at 5 p.m. Central. And yeah, if you have just recently become a member of the Death Metal channel, we do fireside chats once a month, and it's basically just a way to chat with you guys. We go into it; it's just live streamed on the Death Metal YouTube channel, and we don't really go into it with a plan of what to talk about. We might have a couple things we want to like chat about or whatnot. We'll probably talk a little bit about like Hulk versus Godzilla, for example, on tomorrow's fireside chat. Because man, there's so much to talk about for that episode, and that comes out this upcoming weekend as well. But yeah, so tomorrow at 5 p.m. Central, we will be doing a fireside chat. We're also, of course, doing our ballot banter as well tomorrow. That is at 1 p.m. Central. So 2 live streams for the price of 1 day. Excited for that tomorrow. And then we also do have a sponsor for today's episode of Death Metal Cast, but it's not a typical sponsor. I'm not really sure how this happened or why he's here, but this episode of Death Metal Cast is sponsored by Mog Slothman.
Hey guys, it's me.
Oh, there he is.
Just no, shut up, Ben. I'm here. I am paying off my debt as a merchandise extraordinaire. I got a few things to sell you. Let's see here. Let me check. Oh God. Let me see. Oof, buddy. Yep, that's right. We got new merch. Check it out. Some of this stuff. You want it bigger? I can do that. Let me make it large. Take that. Enjoy the large version. And if that's not enough, we have the most beautiful piece of merchandise ever made. The Chid James bucket hat.
Ah, God. Oh my God.
Hey.
Now,
Yeah, so Finton, I saw your
Horrifying.
super chat. Finton in chat has a Chid Jim's hat coming this Thursday, which is awesome.
yeah.
Mog, you kind of just whipped this up last Champion Cast, right?
Yeah, we were selling, the hats, and we were selling other stuff like the really good merchandise, the Absolute Cinema stuff, the cool new Miles Deku cup and everything. And then here, let me just come and jump on y'all's Leia here really quick. We were doing all of that, and then we said, you know what if we made a hat out of the Chim James? And Chim
I hate
James
this
was
fucking thing.
well, it's not you, it's not about you, it's not your fucking hat, so I don't know why you're so
Yes,
upset.
it is. Yeah, I'm dreading the day when we go to a convention and somebody walks up wearing that fucking monstrosity.
People
because
are
you guys
buying 'em.
Started
The
buying
day
them.
will come. The day
Or
will
like
come.
a full body
That-
thing.
Yeah. Also, that is going to be a temporary merchandise item. I will not allow that to persist in perpetuity. Just want y'all to know.
We'll
If you
see.
take
Anything
off the
that's on the
store, I'm gonna
internet
put
is
it back up
forever.
when you're not looking.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I think
Also a
that's
bucket
Chim.
hat,
That's
like,
Chim
there's
There's gonna be a
James's
black
like
market
call.
for this stuff.
Yeah.
It's really funny that it's a bucket hat of all hats.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
I'm almost paid off my debt. To the merchandise department, I guess, is what's happening. And soon, our projections say by this Friday, I should be free to do my own work. And my debts will be paid off. So I'm gonna have a night show, as you can see. Mog at midnight at noon. I screwed up the time when I scheduled it because the 12 p.m., 12 a.m. thing is really confusing. So we're doing our night show at noon.
Okay.
I get
Well,
it. It's sort of like having breakfast for dinner, right? Like sometimes you want to watch Space Ghost at 8
It's
in the
better
morning.
that way.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mog
Mog,
at
where can
midnight
I
at
go to
noon.
watch your night show at noon?
You can go
Yeah.
actually. I think the first one's here, and then the next one will be on
Oh,
my
you're
own
doing it
channel.
here?
I think that's how we said we would do it.
Yeah.
The first one's
Okay.
here, and then the next one will be on my own channel.
Okay.
So mark your
Maybe.
calendars for noon central. Mog at midnight at noon. I'll be on the show as Mog's first guest. So I can bitch at him
This-
about the hat a little bit, and then we'll talk about, I don't know, whatever Mog has planned.
Things going
you
on.
seem so excited.
Yeah.
I hate this fucking hat.
Well,
Um,
I asked the world famous Chim Jims, and he said he was busy, so I had to settle for Chad James. This bullshit, I know. He doesn't even have his own hat. It's pathetic. Anyways,
Okay, so
sorry
this
I took your
Friday-
spot, Ben. I know it's kind of rude, but I got to do what I got to
Yeah,
do.
man.
It's the only option I had. I mean, I could have taken anyone's spot, but it seemed
There are
most
literally
logical.
3 other spots available.
Yeah,
Mog,
but top
come on.
left, everybody knows this is the most Chadley
Mostly.
spot. Yeah,
It is?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I took it.
More
I
than
mean,
mine. Well, give it back.
that's not a nice way to ask. I mean, I can do that. I can give it to you back. I am a board certified OBSGYN. I can do that for you.
Oh my god.
That joke really got Chad pretty good. Also, a
Hey,
professional
so if you wanna buy some of that
BDSAMR,
merchandise-
you know. Anyway, yeah, buy merch. I'm gonna
Okay.
leave now.
Okay.
You can
Goodbye
you
now.
you want to get,
yeah.
I highly recommend the good merchandise and not the hat. But if you do want to pick
Oh,
it up,
yeah.
deathbattle.gg. You don't have to be a member there to buy merch. You can do it. Anybody can buy it. If you are a member, depending on your level, you can get discounts. So go check it out. Deathbattle.gg. Get all the cool stuff. Not that fucking hat. Thank you.
Okay.
Get the hat.
Here's
buy
your
the
bin
hat.
back.
And then join me and Mog for Mog at midnight at noon at noon Central this Friday here on the Death Battle channel live. Hope to see you there.
Oh my god. Oh, hey Mog, as you're leaving, while you're walking out the door, just remember Dewblade X calls out, hold it Mog for legal reasons. It's not a Miles Deku shirt.
Yeah, of course not.
It's a legally distinct spider hero versus legally distinct spider inspired hero shirt.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do have some new merch on deathbattle.gg, so feel free to check that out if you want. But yes, Mog will be doing his first ever like full talk show this Friday at noon. And midnight at noon is hilarious.
It is pretty great.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I get them confused sometimes too. So it is what it is. Oh, and Bread God, thank you for shouting this out. That Bread God says he has to they have to start baking bread bucks for tomorrow, as it will be their very first fireside chat. Looking forward to seeing
Okay.
you
See you
there.
there.
Sorry for the surprise reveal that we're doing this tomorrow. That's typically how this goes.
Ah.
Joe reminds us that, like, by the way, you're doing this tomorrow. And we go, oh shit.
Fuck.
Right.
And Joe, you'll find out episode 200 on Sunday.
Yes, when Hulkzilla does air. Okay, so
Worth the wait.
let's
Speed.
get to the final part of
Speed.
this argument. What?
Speed.
Speed.
We're gonna talk about speed and see how fast
Full
they are. before we
speed
get-
ahead.
We need to start wrapping things up as well. We're getting into the last 10 minutes of the cast.
Okay.
So
Alright,
if there
alright,
are
alright.
things you need to talk about them. And we've talked a lot about Goblin Slayer, so let's jump back over to Laios here.
Yeah, as far as speed goes, the primary kind of speed feat within it is there's a monster that they end up having to deal with. It's called an Undine. It is a water spirit, and it shoots out these little like streams of water that are not faster than light, but they are extremely fast to the point where they're able to cut through steel and cut through people faster than most of their reaction times. One of the exceptions to that being Laios. So he is one of the more kind of aware and reaction speed wise fast of the group as a whole.
Okay.
So that's that for speed. The thing, as we are now in the last 10 minutes when it comes to Delicious and Dungeon and Laios specifically, the real like trump card stuff. I've now spent this past hour in like the back of my brain trying to think, how do I tell like the win condition for Laios that doesn't just spoil the entire manga?
I mean, if you need to spoil the ending, we can do that. We'll just give a heads up.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
will say, generally speaking, for a water jet to be able to cut through something, it has to be moving like 3 times or more the speed of sound.
Yeah.
So that's generally that kind of like minimum speed for it. Could be higher, but
Yeah. Okay. For just to chime in on speed super quick, for Goblin Slayer, at first I was like, oh, he can move faster than the goblins I can see. Then I found this. Sam, we bring up speed 1. This goblin wizard or mage shoots a thunderbolt at him, and he's like reacts to it by grabbing his shield and throwing the shield into the lightning bolt, causing it to explode and disperse or whatever. But yeah, he reacted to a lightning bolt and threw a shield at it fast enough to stop it. So that's
Is it
pretty
a
fast.
lightning bolt or a thunderbolt?
Well, it's a thunderbolt, but I mean,
yeah, I'm not sure what I'm looking at here. Is it an explosion?
it's
like a lightning bolt is
shooting.
like-
It's like
from
an
the
arrow.
goblin mage.
It's like an
an arrow.
It's
Yeah,
like
it's
an
like
arrow shaped. The triangle there is the
I'm
head of the
seeing now.
arrow.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
I was looking
yeah,
at
and
the
he
wrong way.
reacts, grabs his shield, and whips the shield into it. Sam, can you scroll? Because I think it shows the explosion, right? Maybe.
I will say it does
Anyway.
seem like he knows what's about to happen. So it's not that he's reacting to the thunderbolts. He's prepared to do this already.
I guess, but
I don't know.
Still,
I'm willing to buy that.
Says, "I know what to do," and he brings up the shield, and then the thunderbolt goes off, and then he throws it. So it might be.
Well, the thunderbolt goes off, and then he's still whipping his shield fast enough to intercept a thunderbolt.
He's still moving after the thunderbolt has been released. So that movement is that's what matters in terms of like.
Or it's happening at the same time.
Well, if it's happening at the same time, that's a speed feat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if he whipped it before, then it wouldn't be. You wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Always hard to tell with longer panels.
Yeah. But anyway, so I found that. So pretty fast.
Okay. Fair enough.
And then, all right, do your big argument, and then I'll do mine.
Okay.
All right. So is this spoiler warning for Dungeon Messi?
This is spoiler warning. I like how I'm tiny right now, by the way.
What happened? Why are you tiny?
Chad's squishing me to win the argument. That's all right. Lily Mandragon in chat says Aaron loves spoilers. I do. Thank you. Yeah. So spoilers. Friend of Dungeon Meshi. They're at the end, after defeating the magician, they realize that the dungeon is actually being controlled by a demon. It's not technically a demon, it's like a larger entity, but regardless, that becomes the thing they need to defeat. This demon is able to manipulate people's desires, and so when Laios becomes Lord of the Dungeon, he gets transformed into Sam, I sent you, I forget what I called that panel. Laios final form. The first one, please.
Final form.
Final form.
Okay.
Oh,
whoa.
Oh, the guy on those steps? That doesn't seem that impressive.
So the guy on the steps is the demon because he agreed to swap forms with Laios. So that is Laios' original body, now with the demon in it, and what's on the left is Laios. He gets transformed into a giant three-headed chimera creature. So
okay.
But does he like keep this form?
Stay there?
He does not, but if we are approaching this fight by the logic of them being in like the dungeon, if he is having a hard time defeating the Goblin Slayer, he just has to make a deal with the demon.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Batman was turned into a big unicorn or whatever. Count.
Okay, so we'll keep that in mind.
Hang on. You say he has to make a deal with the demon. Is the deal persistent? Like, would he have to like interact with the demon again, or can he just be like, I invoke this power that was given to me, even though it will curse me to be in this body forever, or something like that, and then he turns into it?
That goes into what we would not know, because that's not what ends up like happening after this. What happens after this is that he defeats the demon by consuming him.
Naturally,
of course.
Okay.
Naturally.
Wait, so he eats himself? Is that what happens?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like there's maybe a metaphor there. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I don't know, but
I have a lot of chat saying doesn't count outside help. I just thought this show was badass and I wanted to show it off.
Okay, that's true.
Speaking of badass, you remember that ordinary old gate scroll that I told you about? This is a testament to Goblin Slayer's tactics and ingenuity. He requested a favor from a mage, and he had that mage go out and anchor his anchor point of the gate scroll to the bottom of the ocean. So what he can do is use this gate scroll to open a portal to the bottom of the ocean, and gates are a finite amount, so it's not like the gate's going to bring in as big of anything. Like it's like the size of a door or whatever, right? Something like that. So because of that, all of the pressure and the pressurized water from the bottom of the ocean is suddenly funneled through this fixated gate, and is, quote, swiftly unleashed like a blade. So when he was fighting this humongous, super powerful ogre, Sam, can you pull up gate 1? The ogre fires this fireball at him, which, as you can see, is quite large. Then when you go to gate 2, he releases the gate scroll. It goes through the fireball and just absolutely obliterates this guy. So this is the first hit, and then see, I'm going to gate 3. It literally shreds him to pieces. His arms are gone. He's cut in half, and he is absolutely wrecked. So he has the ability to just summon the pressure from the bottom of the ocean. If we did this in an episode, we'd have to see how much bullshit that is. But it just unleashes a absolute blast that will rip Laios apart.
Okay. Two things. I want to say two things real quick. One, I've seen some people in chat saying, "Oh, it's outside help to be the demon or whatever, so it wouldn't count." Technically speaking, there is no rule against literal outside help in death battle because that gets it that would remove a lot of powers from characters that just wouldn't exist otherwise. The rule is that we are examining a character's personal potential. But if that potential comes from an outside source, like a paladin getting power from a god, we're not going to cut off the power from the god because then the paladin just won't have anything, right? So if Laios can access this demon power on his own and be like, I invoke this power, then he could. I would say that counts, but I don't know if that's necessarily the case. As for this water jet thing, how does casting the gate spell work? Because if this is based on like D&D stuff, there might be a lot going on there. Or is he able to just do it instantaneously? Or does he have to put the scroll on the ground and like burn some like incense or something?
He does this.
And then it
He does this,
like,
Ben. He does this.
He just holds it out and
Because you
activates
said it was
it
a
out.
scroll, yeah?
Like,
Yeah.
and again, this fireball
doesn't
is
even have to
flying
say
at him, and
anything?
you're no. He just
What?
released like that huge fireball is coming towards him, and he's just standing there in that epic pose, like you see. Like he's not like Sam. Will you bring up the image again? Like, no, sorry, the first one, the fire one. See, he's just chilling, and I guess he's at this point pulling the gate scroll out. But you see this come towards, then you just see this big blue flash, basically. And then the ogre is just fucking exploding. Like limbs are flying everywhere, and then he starts to explain like, I linked the portal scroll to the bottom of the ocean, and all the pressure at the seafloor like makes it act like a blade. And then
well, I think
he's like, his plan was to take out an entire goblin horde with it, which is why he did it, but instead he used it on the ogre, and the ogre was
so it was a one-time use thing.
I'm not. It's not. No,
Like
because
he
he's
set
used
it
it
up ahead
again.
of time.
He's used it again. He flooded a whole tower with it.
Okay,
But it was that
Okay.
line was more to be like, so the ogre was like, you'd use that on mere goblins, and then he's like, goblins are more of a threat than you, and then stabs him in the forehead.
gotcha. Gotcha. Okay.
Interesting.
Well, I
so it
think
is a
Goblin Slayer-
scroll,
Yeah.
which suggests is there like if he uses it again later, is it like, because he couldn't just keep like popping open and shut the scroll over and over again. I don't imagine.
Yeah, I don't know. We've only seen it, I think, the 2 times.
And he can reuse the
Gotcha.
scroll as many times as he wants. It doesn't
Unclear.
Like, it's magic spent or
Unclear.
anything like that.
I will go back to the water walk spell from earlier and the very silly physics things they do with it. You could open the ocean on him, and if water walk is active, it would just kind of go around him and under him.
God, you think?
Oh. Oh.
Wait, no, then he would just
literally- I mean, if they could breathe snow in one universe, I would say like we're reaching the like absolute limits of these spells, right? Like, yeah, the water wouldn't touch him, right? Like it would just go around.
No,
him.
because then
Oh,
it makes
shit.
water act. No, it makes water act like a solid surface. So it might even make it more detrimental because the entire pressure exploding out. Even he's like water, and then it
No, it
just
doesn't.
blam,
No.
like,
It doesn't make no. It doesn't make water act like a solid surface.
It
Because if
like
that were true,
repels
then the
water.
Kraken would have just gotten stuck. So the Kraken specifically was lifted up,
Yeah.
right? That's the idea.
It gets
Because the-
lifted from underwater to the surface of the water. So
It's
even
like
though it is
oil.
on the surface of the
So-
lake, it is essentially beached. Yes.
Traditionally speaking, the water walk spell is not creating a surface that you walk on. Because if that was the case, then it would be like wobbly and weird, right? It just lets you kind of like walk over water. It's more of a like a semi-levitation than anything else. So it lifts things above the water. So if he casts that as water's being shot on him, and we are allowing like the like breaking of physics implied that these spells imply, like breathing snow with a water breathing spell, then yeah, I could totally see it just like passing by him because technically he's levitated away from the water. That's brilliant.
If I could see that if it was like a flooding thing, right? Where he's like flooding the room or something like that. This is it's like a super fire hose, right? Because it's focused through like it is so much pressure coming out instantly that like even if you were to cast water walking, it's gonna move him. Like there's no way he's just gonna like it's gonna magically part. You know what I mean? Like he's gonna like it'd be like sure the water can't hit him, but the pressure of like he's gonna go flying. You know what I mean? It's the pressure of the entire bottom of the ocean.
The two logic things in there is that either the water walk would make it so that the water repels around him and he, as someone in chat mentions, pulls a Moses, or it would theoretically push him. By that logic, it would probably push more up than anything else. So yes, could potentially launch him at speed, but Laios has also survived being launched at speed. Like he gets whipped by the red dragon's tail and he slams into a wall and he's just like, but I'm a little dizzy.
That's fascinating. Okay, the poll is up. Let's go ahead and get our final arguments out. We'll start with Goblin Slayer. Chad, final arguments for Goblin Slayer.
Yeah, I mean, Goblin Slayer is just anything is a weapon in his hands, and if his task was to kill another person in the way that he hates goblins, like game over. I mean, he's got a huge arsenal. He's super fast, super strong, super durable, and then he's got the portal scroll, the gate scroll as well, linked to the bottom of the sea. Like,
and Aaron, final argument for Laios.
We've only been talking about him for an hour. But yeah, no, he has strong durability. He has a living sword. He has a mithril kitchen knife. He is just very good at analyzing a situation, finding the way out of it. He has a very convenient counter, it would seem, in the water walk spell, which he is able to cast. And I do think that you can argue that his kind of trump card ability that he gets from the demon is something that could be applied, because when he is the lord of the dungeon, the demon is essentially put in a place of just granting whatever wishes he has, and the demon reads your mind. So it's basically instantaneous. What you wish for will happen. So
interesting.
If we allow him to be lord of the dungeon and have access to the demon, which is time specific within the plot of the story, which I will give, then I think it kind of gives him that final turn into a giant beastie, which I think would also just be fun against Goblin Slayer.
So I guess this might really depend on whether or not the fight takes place in the dungeon, because also the question comes up of if you die in the dungeon, then your soul remains, which means nobody technically dies. Unless you're consumed, right? And
even then, there's things that can be done.
Okay. Interesting. All right, Liam, what are you thinking?
I actually think that Laios's arsenal is generally a little bit better. I think that he seems to be a bit more of a varied, a variable and intelligent. Well, not intelligent, but he encounters more than he isn't just fighting like one specific kind of thing. Despite that, I was thinking like, oh, the fact that he can react to lightning and shoot the water scroll just gives him an instant win. But with the water walk, I think that counters it, and I think that Laios's weaponry, like cutting through the dragon and stuff, is just generally going to be better. I'm not including any of him turning into a giant chimera. I'm going to go with Laios.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, I really like the idea of trying to break the logic of these spells, which sounds like it's a thing in both series. And if that is the case, then I am leaning Laios. But if there is it would be tough, I think, to sell the idea of shooting the bottom of the ocean at Laios and him being able to just sort of like pass through it, through the
right?
rock. So I'm a little torn. I'm leaning Laios right now, but I'm kind of torn on it. I don't know.
Wow, the both of you. No, and like even if we're in a dungeon, Goblin Slayer, like he has been in dungeons, caves. He is used to being in these environments, setting up traps, doing it on the fly. Like it would be a hellscape for.
I'm also
he's in a
pretty sure
dungeon,
I've
if
heard
he
that
takes his-
Dungeon Meshi scales above Goblin Slayer, but I don't know that for a fact.
If he's doing it in a dungeon, then that means when he unleashes the ocean, he's probably going to get caught in it too. So I don't know if that would necessarily. I don't know. The environment might play a really big role in this, which we didn't really get to talk about.
Well,
but,
so
like,
the
if this
ogre
were to be
thing
a
that was
full
like
death
at the
battle-
bottom of a tower, like a keep or whatever, and it's like the lower levels, and he unleashed just enough of it, like he cut it off after like it just
Oh,
it
he
was
can
like
kind of control
bam.
it. Okay.
Yeah, and there's like a little bit of water on the ground, but like it's not like it kept going. But then another time he did
All right.
flood a whole tower with it. So
Okay, we are wrapping up the poll here in just a bit. I will say, stick around. We are about to jump over to Champion Cast, and when this live stream ends, you will be automatically moved over into Champion Cast if you are a member of the channel. If you're not a member of the channel, Champion Cast is our post show for Death Battle Cast, where we get into some. We might talk a little bit more about the matchup, or we might get into some weird stories. We'll find out. We'll also be showing off a sneak peek of Hulk Godzilla in just a little bit here. If you haven't seen it, Hulk Godzilla comes out next weekend, or no, this weekend, this Sunday, August 24th. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. I'm very excited for this episode. It is a beefy one. There's a lot going
It's a
on in
big
it.
It is quite literally a big one.
All right. And with that, the poll wraps up with 70% of the vote going to Goblin Slayer.
I got
All
one.
right. Yeah, you
been a
got
minute.
one. All right. And just a reminder, Mog Slothman will be having his first ever live talk show this Friday. He's got a midnight show at noon Central Time.
Log at
Which is
midnight at noon.
Which is just going to confuse everybody. So this Friday at noon Central Time, Mog will be hanging out with Chad talking about.
Who
I'm
knows?
sure it's going to be real stupid. So check it out. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for another Death Battle Cast. We will end this off with that sneak peek for Hulk versus Godzilla. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Night Ghost.